It's launch day here again at Invite Ministries, and we are so excited to be back on with our good friend Wes Olds. Wes, congratulations on this
Thank
new
you,
launch.
Lynn. Thank you to you and your team for helping us get this good news out.
We're now what we've got today is a workbook edition of a book that we first released together a while back, the Confronting the Thief Within, How I Quit Earning God's Love and Embraced My Real Identity. The original book came out a few years ago now, and we decided that the book has been so valuable to folks that we've created a workbook edition.
Yes, so grateful. And we put it to the test here with my local congregation and had enthusiastic participation. About 130 adults came to the class for 4 weeks, but then they gave some real honest, good feedback about how important it was to have the workbook to interact with some of the concepts and ideas, but also to refine that. And so we took all that feedback, and your team put it together in a wonderful package for folks. So it's got the entire book, the journal, prompt questions. It's got a facilitator's guide, small group questions, even spots to doodle and to write down your own insights.
Spots to doodle are very helpful, aren't they?
I'm a doodler. I like it. It helps me process, I think. So
I love it. So let me kind of recap what you just said. You just said it so succinctly and so well. What we're trying to do with these workbooks is to create an all-in-one turnkey guide. And the entire book is in there, notes for leaders, facilitators, everything you would need in order to be able to kind of process and work through the book in a multi-week group environment from beginning to end, so that the book is not just information, but it's actually something that's formational that helps us with our walk with Christ.
Yeah. And one of the things that we quickly discovered in our local context here about the material is, I discovered this through the grace of God through Bonnie Crandall. And she was my local counselor. And her and her husband, Ron, prayed me through a very difficult season of my life where I was really struggling with my fundamental identity. And so what happened is I put this package of the material together and then realized, wow, I came over this 1 week at a time, 3 years in the making. And so just sitting down and reading this in 3 hours is probably not going to have the same effect. So this workbook is getting closer to the type of spiritual formation, character building, emotional maturity, spiritual maturity, those kind of things that are going to really pay off for people if they're fully engaged and even engage in some of the difficult parts that are uncomfortable because they're things we'd rather not talk about. But that's where the group dynamic comes in to help have an accountability partner or a spiritual friend to sit with you, not to be a therapist, but to be a spiritual friend and encourager.
Spiritual friend. I love that. You just named a couple of things that I think are really important about what we're trying to do with the workbooks. And one is the group environment, the community engagement that I think is so important now, as opposed to just kind of that private individual read, which orients you with whether you realize it or not. I think it orients people toward kind of a self-help, kind of a pro tip mentality. Find something quick you can apply. Versus the group it takes more time. It's a little bit messier, a little bit longer.
Yes.
But it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what we were just pleasantly surprised here in our environment to see a study start with a group and then it grew every week and people didn't bail because the discussion was so key in processing the material that just having that environment alone was a game changer for folks because this is deep work. This is spiritual growth work. And I love the strategy that you and your team have come up with, Lynn, because I've been leading studies in churches for decades. And there's always like, do I have the leader's guide? Do I have the book? Do I have the journal? Did I bring the video component? It's all here for us in one package. And you can interact with it wherever you are.
I love that. Thank you. And just to specify, we still have the trade. One of the advantages of having this trade edition, which this is the original edition, and it doesn't have the interactivity. It's just, a straight read. Right. And this is still living up on Amazon. This is still out all the bookstores, around the world. But we see this as more the entry point. And in fact, we've modified this. So there's a note in the back that now says, moving forward, it'll say, hey, if you want to do this in a group setting, in a workbook setting, then here's the link to go get that. Because
perfect.
we think this is so important that we expect. And the other thing I want to go back to what you said a minute ago, Wes, is you talked about how you compressed this book represents the compression of 3 years of learning into a 3 hour read.
Exactly. And 25 years of attempted application. And so
Yes.
it
Yeah.
was a little ambitious to think, okay, you can have the same blessing if you'll just spend a couple hours on this. That I dove into it and did some of the hard work. And so the people that were a part of this study, are really doing their second and third pass at the
Mm,
material, but it comes alive in new ways when we are gathered together. It is something I think as the growth of AI and all these different things come about, there's something special about sitting knee to knee with another person and
yes.
discovering they're a lot like you. Their story has a lot in common with your story, and Jesus cares about both stories. So
Oh, I
it's
love that. Oh my gosh. And what your this workbook represents, I think, the fifth or sixth title now in the strategy for us. And what we're trying to do is to lean into this idea that it's formation, not information. And we've
sure.
spent all this time maximizing efficiency, getting out information as quickly as you can. We're teaching people to kind of burn through studies. But now we're saying, well, maybe we need to slow down, spend
Yeah.
more time with each individual study so that we really allow it to actually take root in our hearts.
Yeah. This is really, it's so simple. It is about God's love for you and me. And I remember thinking and kind of praying in protest, like, God, I want to write a book about something really like really cutting edge, really cool. I want the new thing. And I remember the answer in prayer back was, well, you haven't really fully discovered the old thing yet. And there's a lot of really good stuff in that one concept that God is love. And when
Wow.
we get the order of God's love right, when we are able to love ourselves to the point that we're not running on fumes all the time, then there's a great freedom and joy. I call it a superpower. Not
Mm.
every day is that great, but you just kind of can grieve it and move on faster by processing it with Jesus in prayer, but also with another trusted Christ follower.
What Wes, what would you say to someone? Okay, so you're in another church and regular sized church, you've got some groups, you're thinking about fall programming, things that people will be, studying both from the pulpit and also in small group environments. We're positioning this as a possible option for that kind of environment, right? So how would you describe what this
Absolutely.
would do for someone in that situation?
Yeah, for our congregation, it served as kind of a reset, like a home base to say, okay, this is who we are as the people of God. This is who Jesus says that we are. And to all who received him and call on his name, he gives the right to become children of God. And that's who we are. And if you're a child of God, you're a cog. That means you're a pal, a person of worth. And the first part we hear lots about, and it's good. And we can believe it for others, I think, easily, um, knowing that you're a child of God. But it's when we recognize and embrace that we also are a person of worth,
Mm,
because so that worth is built in to the first identifying the grace of God that's at work in our life that gives us this identity. It's not something we have to earn, and it's not
mm,
something that has to just circumstantially line up. It
mm.
is a gift from God. And so, trust me, I just thought this would be, if I wrote a book, it would be on something better. But this is actually the best news that I've ever heard in my life. And the
Well,
more I
yeah.
engage with it, the better it is. And there's never an end to God's love. There's always more. And that's what I'm finding is you live into this identity as a cog pal, child of God, person of worth.
The cog pal actually is, I think there's the power there is there's two things at once. There's an
That's right.
ontological reality. You are a child of God, whether you understand it or not. This is
Yep.
ontologically, this is true.
Yep.
But then the person of worth is the psychological, it's the perception of that,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you can be a child of God and not understand that you're a person of worth, right? And so
That's what I'm
that
finding more and more. I'm not alone in that. That's what's been the discovery of dozens, if not hundreds of people just here in this community is that second piece that comes with the first. But we can't really experience the first until we have the whole package deal. And
yeah.
that is when we worship God, we discover our own worth in God. And
Mm.
it is an amazingly freeing thing to know that that unconditional love is there as a safety net for all of life. And what I'd say to somebody that's not yet a follower of Jesus, I'd say you're crazy about Jesus. You just don't know it yet. You're about ready to meet the most incredible person who ever walked the planet. And he reveals to you what he calls his truth, which is the truth that we've been looking for. The devil's the father of lies, according to Jesus. And so we're confronting those thieves that steal away our
Yeah.
true identity. That's why this is so important. And it is deep, soul deep work, because I've got a phrase around here, our other pastors have picked it up, and other ministry leaders. It all comes back to Cogpal.
Mm.
At the end of the day, if somebody's having, trouble in a relationship or trouble dealing with a situation, the fundamental question is, first of all, do you know who you are and whose you are? And from there, we can work from the bottom, and the bottom is actually sound and a building place.
Something worth building on.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So, Wes, let me talk just a bit about the logistics. These workbooks are exclusively being offered through inviteministries.org. And we do that so that we can offer bulk discounts because it's designed to be done in groups. If you go on the site, you can, once you hit 10, 20, whatever, then those kind of automated discounts kick in, so that then it's better for churches and groups than they would experience through Amazon or something else. And again, this book is still available on Amazon. So if you're trying to introduce just the concept to it, maybe if you have someone who's going to be too scared to step into a group environment, this book available on Amazon still serves a crucial purpose for that person as well.
It's a good first take at it and first pass at it. But you're exactly right, Lynn. I think this kind of gradual process works pretty good for this deep of soul work.
Yeah.
You just want to check the box. That's one thing. But if you want to ask the Holy Spirit to transform your life from the inside out, this is part of that journey. It's not the only part, but it's a big fundamental part, I believe.
So Wes, we've got, this is a multi-year relationship that we have going now with this book and now this workbook. So talk to me about long-term hopes and dreams. What would you love to see God do with Confronting the Thief Within?
Well, I just want the message to get out. I was given this gift by Bonnie and Ron, and Bonnie's the one who God had trusted with this message of being a child of God, person of worth. And she came into my life at just the exact right time, and just really helped save my soul, my ministry, my marriage, my parenting, by reintroducing me to a God that I had painted with some graffiti and some falsehoods. And so that journey was so important to me, and I found it being important to others. So I got this stuff for free. I'm giving it away. All the proceeds come back to Grace Church so that we can frankly buy more books and give them away. We've been just giving them out. We've had some folks buy 10 or 20 at a time to spread the news to different folks in their workplace and their friendships and those kind of things. Hey, check this out. And it's I know we want to push everybody to invite today for the workbook, which has got the whole package in it, but it is on sale today at Amazon, the original copy. Just
good.
FYI, it's about 30% off. So if you want to grab it on Kindle today, that's a quick way to respond to it. And then
especially if you're a group leader and you're trying to decide what you want to do this fall and you want to give it a quick read first, that Kindle discount's a beautiful way to get introduced to it right now.
Yeah, and it pulls, the more that you can get involved, the better the synergy becomes. So we did a preaching series with this, and I've got a new website available today, cogpal.com, that has some sermons on there. If you want to go to cogpal.com, you're happy to take them and use the material, make it your own. And you could do a preaching series with it. You could do a small group series. You could do an individual study. You could offer a lot of different options. And again, it all starts with our identity. This is like the fundamental spiritual question, I think, of our time. So yes, my dreams. My dream is just that more people would know on this personal thing. It just came as a gift. So the more that can hear about it, the more joy I have in it. And I know that's Bonnie's heart, and certainly Ron, her husband.
Wes, it is so good to partner with you. Invite is blessed by you. It's blessed by our relationship with you and the Crandalls as well. Thank you for writing this. Thank you for your cooperation and support as we design this workbook together. And I just can't wait to see what God does with it.
Me too. And I can't thank you enough, Lynn. And you guys are coming along just at the right time. We need invite right now in the journey of our church with the disruption that's taking place. It's good to have a good partner to get this good news out and to help with these resources. So I encourage all pastors and church leaders to check this out and check out the other books too.
Yeah, thank you, Wes. Confronting the Thief Within, Workbook Edition, now available.
All right. Thank you, Lynn. Thanks, everybody.